Okay, last time on the Princesses of Womanitoba Storytelling Podcast, which is still going on by the way, Princess Ghost and Princess Storm gathered together for a dinner in remembrance of their late friend. However, in the interim, the castle has been experiencing some spookings going on. We are not going to bury the theme here. I mean, come on, it's Halloween. Let's not kid ourselves. So the usual counts the castle had experienced were things like knocking sounds, footsteps, Leahy-style tap dancing, and spooky shadows that secretly mock Princess Ghost when she isn't looking. Now, the princess herself tried to ignore these events, such as being woken up by a bad dream, even with her crown that is enchanted so that when she'd be asleep, she would not get interrupted. I mean, despite being a ghost herself, the princess is still human and she needs her GD beauty naps. She hates being woken up. I hate that, Princess Ghost grumbled as she teleported herself out of her crown that she technically haunts, but only as a bed. Her hollowed hair was frizzy and stuck to her mouth. She floated over towards her vanity and cleaned herself up good as she combed out the tangles. After a few leisurely strokes, she had to take pause as she noticed a thing that was behind her in the mirror. In the reflection there was a big guy, it seemed. He wore a cloak and had scary inverted eyes like looking into a unlit, hollowed out pumpkin. Her eyes gotten wide, but she didn't freak out about it. After she sighed, she continued to brush, saying, "I've seen crazier." The strokes of her hair was constant as the overproduced swelling of the musical score began to fade, releasing all tension in the scene. "Gotta call Storm. We need to ghost investigate," she said, putting her brush down on the counter. Elsewhere in the province, where Princess Storm was enjoying the calmness of the morning as the weather was scheduled to be clear and sunny, it was her day off after all. Being curled up in a 80s style nest chair in my sunroom reading a trashy romance novel with some wine is my absolute favorite thing in the ring ring. Just then, her princess phone sounded off as the silence was stilted. An internal storm briefly rumbled in the recesses of Storm's mind. As she read Ghost's name with bitter annoyance, she reluctantly answered Princess Ghost's custom ringtone. "Ooh, ooh, it's me. Ooh, ooh." I hate that I let her set that ringtone to this. Storm presses the dancing ghost avatar on the screen with disgust. "Hello? Why are you calling me this early?" "Princess Storm, good morning. Sorry, but you gotta get over here. Pronto. I'll be making preparations in the meantime. Just get over here ASAP." Princess Ghost said this all over the call, but didn't wait for Princess Storm's response. Was she dictating the text? Well, she seemed serious. I better check it out. Also, I should let the others know. Now, back to Princess Ghost. She sensed another princess or a person with equal authority milling about, as in an inignorable amount of power had been pulsating in the ghostly mind of her princess. One time she thought she was ghost high and was enjoying the trip, but then realized she couldn't be exploring her altered mind mainly because she can do that anytime when she pleases. So she deduced the possibility that there was another person in the castle. But could it be her? Maybe. I guess you'll just have to keep on listening and find out. In a funny and adorable montage, we see Princess Ghost setting up specialty cameras designed for capturing ghost images. I mean, she already had the technology as Princess Infrastructure provided her with the equipment. It's pretty weird for a living in the flesh princess to take an unexpected call from Princess Ghost. Just like that one time with Princess Sleep. Ring ring. But hello? Hi, I just became ordained and I was directed to chat with you. Huh? What? Who? It's me. We used to be in the same training course, remember? Oh. Are you trying out to be a princess invisible? No. Was it Princess Illusion? Not quite. Princess Weirdo? She's still in training, I believe. Well, at any rate, it's nice to chat with you again. But I can't recollect your face in my mind's eye. Oh, I see. Well, I'll keep in touch. Yes, bye-bye. Albeit it wasn't a scary flashback, but for any excuse to bring up a random princess is a fun time. And also helps build the world. Anyway, Princess Ghost covered ghost bases, for she had installed motion sensors, infrared cameras, she left spirit boards for quick access, there were walls with talismans strung up, and even milk and cookies. Also, she was armed with photon packs and ghost traps. Not the traps from Ghostbusters. It's just a box propped up with a stick and string to pull the stick out from underneath the box so that the box would fall and trap the ghost within its magical cardboard structure. What's the bait, you asked? Why, it's none other than an old piece of jewelry. Ghosts love haunting / sleeping inside of antiquities. Ghosts are like cats when it comes to antiques. That should do it, Ghost murmured as she adjusted her bandolier of ghost hunting stuff. Now I just need to wait for Storm to show. Graboom! The thunder sounded, and inside the castle darkened by a heavy cloud cover outside. That would be her right now. It's rather unusual, but I should contact her, right? Can't seem to get a signal. Wait, who's this? Princess Ghost tried to open her phone, but the screen wouldn't unlock as there was a prompt to answer a call from an unknown number. Oh boy, I've seen enough to realize where this is going. I mean, I am a ghost after all. I don't need light to know where I am. Nice try, other ghost. Princess Ghost put away her phone as she floated her way down the hall where she's going to mainly track this ghost. At the end of the hall there was a symbolic bed where Princess Ghost would fake sleep and a nearby storm would spring the trap. If the other passive traps weren't tripped already, this plan would be considered foolproof. This was a foolproof plan! She made her way to the side of the bed and decided, well, I suppose it's just me now. No ghost is gonna make a ghoul out of the Princess of Ghosts. Just then, a gust of wind whistled through the big bay window and swirled about the large hall. Not really affecting the Princess of Ghosts, mainly because her ethereal form. Despite that, she was unfazed. Olivia, if that's you, then show yourself. If you can't move on, then I'll have to guide you there. Princess Ghost tried to focus her senses on the room, but even she couldn't notice a spook greater than herself was right behind her. A mere shadow person wearing a cloak, you know, the standard cliched stuff, and not totally a red herring. Nevertheless, Ghost turned to face it to remove the hood. It was none other than Princess Storm? You lie! Where's Princess Storm? Shadow Princess Storm unfurled her cloak, making it crack in the air as it whipped into Ghost's face, and beneath the cloth was a badly beaten body of Storm, with cartoonish bruising and cross-hatchings and stuff. The ghastly Storm opened her mouth and began to creep towards Princess Ghost as if to envelop her into her being, into the darkness of the mist that seeps out of her cloak and mouth. But a magic spell was casted from a familiar voice from within the castle. A light shot from the halls illuminating the mist, as it also dispersed and nailed Shadow Princess Storm in her open mouth. The figure staggered about as if looking for someone to perform a Heimlich maneuver, but then immediately died, or at least sent back to wherever it dwelled. Stunned, Princess Ghost felt powerless to do anything, even to protect herself from a malevolent being, even if it took the form of a friend. She tried to turn to face what saved her, but it was gone, and again she spoke her name with a sense of optimism instead of fear. Ghost! Princess Ghost turned around again to see a tired Storm seated on the bed. Hey, watch it, Storm said, annoyed with Princess Ghost glomping her. Ow, it's not every day I get hugged by a ghost. For a moment, Ghost held her until Storm called out. Is someone over there? Princess Ghost returned to her intangible form and even sank through the bed in embarrassment. Princess Ghost, Storm said as she crawled over to the edge of the bed to see Ghost covering her face. No one's there. However, Princess Ghost shook her head. There is? She then nodded. No, Princess Storm realized and then called out to Olivia. Princess Storm's face was in wonder, as if listening to what messages that Olivia was imparting to her. But she shook her head and said, I hear nothing. However, the camera slowly pans down to Princess Ghost's face, nodding off under the bed, smiling as if being told a bedtime story. Princess Storm realized that Princess Ghost had fallen asleep and had gone to retrieve her enchanted tiara, and Pokeball style drew her sleeping ghost body into her resting place. As she returned the crown to Princess Ghost's proper bedroom, she closed the door and got to work, tidying up the castle. The end.